if you took Tobias Harris off and you put Jaylen Brown over there,
I think if you put Tobias Harris on Boston, they're still in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Really, nigga?
like you know how you look at an NBA draft and you see somebody like who got drafted high, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you see somebody drafted number 20, and you're like, how did he make it to number 20? Like,
especially, how did he get drafted, be regular, and then get paid $300 million? That is wild. I don't know how that happened.
all right, so I'm not gonna let Bobby skate past this subject and try to throw that in there.
I'm just saying it happens. It happens all the time.
Bobby said, get drafted, skate by, and be regular.
Be regular as hell, not even top 10. And
so now
you have one great year. And
so now
the highest paid player ever.
Outside of the top 10, you're regular.
I mean, beyond that one good year, he was regular.
Let's go into the facts. What Bobby is talking about is Jaylen Brown. Shout out to Jaylen Brown.
Shout out to him, though. Yeah,
he got his money. I knew he was gonna get his money. Well deserved money. No doubt in my mind he was gonna get that money. So Bobby is saying that he didn't deserve said money and that he is regular.
How? Okay, just want to throw this in there before he go on that tangent.
With the facts.
I will never shoot a black man down for getting their money. Never, ever. I was just surprised.
All right, moonwalking, I see.
Nah, I ain't moonwalking. I never shoot a black man down. Shout out to Jaylen Brown. Yo, number 16 ranked tail getting $300 million. No, it just is a surprise.
Number 16 out of how many players?
Out of the league.
How many players is that? Just for the audience that don't.
I would imagine about 200-ish.
No. There's 30 teams with 15 people on each roster. There's 450 players in the NBA.
Okay, 450.
450. If we just take starters, that's 300. I mean, if we just take the top 10, that's 300 players. But let's do the real. Out of 450 players, you say he was ranked where?
16.
That's not regular.
It's not regular, but he also is the same guy that's been in constant trade talks almost his whole career.
Who are the bums that have been in constant trade talks their whole career? Trade talks don't make you a bad player. That means you got value. Well, that's why they keep throwing you out there, because it don't
necessarily mean that.
Who are the bums who made headlines as being in trade talks their whole career, or for 5 years in a row?
There's a lot of players that are constantly in trade talks. C.J. McCollum was constantly in trade talks.
C.J. McCollum's not a bum.
He's not a bum, but he's not going to get the highest.
He's a top 50 player in the NBA.
He ain't going to get the highest contract in NBA history.
Well, he's not ranked 16 of 450 players.
He was ranked 16 this.
And not only did he rank 16, he's went to 5 Eastern Conference Finals.
He was part of it. Yeah.
Did he go or not?
Yeah, he part of it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He ain't lead the way, but he part of it.
Don't care. He's 26 points a game, all NBA player. 27 years old. He got paid the bag. And whether they wanted to or not, they had to pay him because he's an asset. So,
I ain't knocking.
This nigga, he is knocking. He is super hating.
I was shocked.
Super hate. Like,
how was that hating?
Like
I'm not
captain hater.
I'm not in the NBA.
On Jaylen Brown.
Shout out to Jaylen Brown. I'm just saying. Me and a couple people are shocked. It ain't just me. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
I have seen a little bit of backlash on somebody being the highest paid player in the NBA, which is to be expected when somebody that's not the best player in the NBA
can barely dribble with his left hand, and we talking about the highest paid player in the NBA. I mean, it's just, you know, it's
so
not knocking them, but
got you. So there's a new CBA coming, collective bargaining agreement, new TV contracts, salary cap is going up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go super deep into that. I don't want to get super nerdy with it, but like, inflated contracts happen almost every year. Like, somebody's going to get paid something ridiculous. Like, Jaylen Brown is not one of those people. In 2 years, you won't look at this as a ridiculous contract. You won't even look at this as a ridiculous contract next year.
That's fair.
Like,
that's fair.
It's just like I just don't understand. Like, if this wasn't Jaylen Brown and we just put a mystery, like, you know how they say name those players and they put question marks on them and blank the player out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I said, hey man, this player in the past 5 years has went to the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times. 5 times. One of those times he went to the finals. And last year at 27, he had his best year ever, averaging 26 points a game and made all NBA second team. And we said, hey, how much would you pay him? And we just put a blank on it. We would say you absolutely have to pay him the max. And that's what they did. Like, I think Jaylen Brown just gets micromanaged because he's had so much success. And we get to see the people who are successful more often. Like, people that's going out in the first round, we don't talk about them.
I think a lot of people's issue, and I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Your issue.
A lot of people. I'm not the only one. Like,
no, but it's yours though. So I don't want you to speak people, for everybody else.
Well, it's so many people that agree with me. A lot of people's issues. He's the second best player on his team, so it's just like when we say these little caveats, like he went to the Eastern Conference Finals, he did this, he did that. Yes,
5 of them.
Yes, but he was never the reason they went. Not directly. It's like if you take the best player off that team and now the best player is Jaylen Brown, are the Celtics that good?
If you take Jaylen Brown off the team, they don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
But they are better than they are if it's the opposite.
Cool.
Because Jason Tatum is just better than Jaylen Brown.
I don't know what that means.
What I'm saying is, if
you had to pay Kobe and Shaq, you had to pay LeBron and Kyrie, you had to pay Wade and LeBron. Every duo, you always have to pay those top 2 dudes if they're all NBA players. There's no way around it. There's never been a dude averaging.
Is Jaylen Brown on the level of any of those you just named? Is he Kobe? Is he Shaq? Is he Kyrie? Is he LeBron?
I don't know. He's 26 points a game, and he is going to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. It's all relative to your accomplishments. I could say these last 5 years, I mean, he's been on a fucking tear. It's been a run.
He had a great last year. I wouldn't say 5 years.
5 Eastern Conference. I mean, he's been the second best player on the team that's been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. Like, who else can say that? I don't know what more you want him to do. If he was on a bad team, he'd be averaging 30 points a game and shooting a less percentage. But we'd be like, oh man, Jaylen Brown is a stud. But, you know, because he takes a lesser role, because he's on a talented team, we knock him.
But that's also why he goes to 5 Eastern Conference Finals, because he's on a talented team.
That's why they gave him the money. But he's the talent. Like he's a big piece. Him and Tatum are the show. You got
solid role players that teams just don't have. It's just you got an Al Horford, hard to have. Robert Williams a stud.
Embiid had Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Al Horford, Tobias Harris.
How different is Jaylen Brown and Tobias Harris?
Way different.
Way different? Ooh.
When the last time Tobias Harris averaged 26 points a game?
Ooh. Way different?
Yes. If Jaylen Brown was on Philly last year, we picked him to win the chip. If you took Tobias Harris off and you put Jaylen Brown over there,
I think if you put Tobias Harris on Boston, they're still in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Really, nigga?